Hey, thanks for taking the time to be with me again this evening. In this video, I show you how I transform cake into dodo, dodo and egg, fried plantain and fried egg. And let me tell you something, it was such a fun, pleasant experience. I didn't even feel like I was working, I just felt like I was having fun, like throughout the whole process. With each step I finished, I was like, yay! I was just so excited because of the way it was coming out, because of how it was coming together. Anyway, so what I first did is I took a foil and I placed it over a flat ceramic plate. Took my circle cutter, pressed it into the cake, and then I just used that as sort of a guide to cut around the cake so that I have a nice looking cylinder. Then I took that cylinder and basically just sliced it up, like you would slice an actual plantain. This one is not looking very well, so I'm just going to carve it a little bit so I have the shape I want. So just gather all the scraps and set it aside. Don't throw it away, we'll get back to it real soon. Next, it's time to crumb coat. I'm just going to crumb coat these slices, these dodo slices, ready for frying. Crumb coat my slices, and I'm just going to chill. Now I know some people slice their plantain round, but I wanted this method of slicing for an exaggerated effect. Now this is going to be my egg. I'm just going to slice it into two. That's just because I don't want my egg to be very high. Just angle your knife, angle it a bit, and then just cut around your cake. You can use it like that, or you can even bake it higher. You can even use the same procedure to bake a giant cake. So take a circle cutter and cut out from your base cake. You can cut it out in the middle, or you can cut it out from the side like I did. Wherever you feel you want your yolk position to be, take a cut out from there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and just take a little bit of the edge for, just effect's sake. Then I'm going to crumb coat this and then cover it up in fondant. There's really no need to chill. You can just set it aside, roll out your fondant, and go ahead and cover immediately. As a matter of fact, that's what I did, and I'll show you why I did that real soon. One thing I forgot to mention is, while you're baking your cake, you want to split your batter and tint one part yellow. The part you'll be tinting yellow, that will actually be what you'll use for your fried plantain. Now I divided my batter and I baked 2 3-inch pans and 1 6-inch pan. The 3-inch pan is for my plantains, while the 6-inch pan is for my egg. Just trying to use my fingers to smoothen it out a bit. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just smoothing to ensure that the fondant adheres to your cake. Then cut off any excess with your pizza cutter. So now I'll take my dress den tool and I'll just use it to make the edges a little bit more uneven. I don't want the edges to be even because egg in a pan never comes out that even. So I'll just push some of the sides in, bring some out, push some in, bring some out. Just randomly make it uneven as your finger directs, so to speak. Just keep going at it. Just continue this way until you're actually comfortable with the way it looks. And this is why I didn't chill my cake, because I wanted to be able to just use my finger to depress it. I don't want the top smooth. You remember the scrap wrapped up that time? So now is the time to take it out. And those scraps are going to form our egg yolk. I know you've already guessed it. Anyway, you were right if you guessed it already. Put a little bit of buttercream in between to sandwich them together. And then I'm going to carve it down to the shape I want. You just want to carve it in such a way that you have kind of like a dome shape. Just a small little dome. Just keep carving. You want to tilt your knife a little bit. You just want to angle your knife against the cake and just keep carving till you're comfortable with the way it looks, till you have that nice little dome that is going to form your egg yolk. It's now time to crumb coat, and then chill for a while. Just a little while. Then bring it back and then you cover it up in your yellow fondant. The same yellow fondant you would have colored down and you're going to use for your plantain. Just smoothing that over, smoothing it with your hands. It doesn't have to be perfect all the way down. It just has to be alright because it's going into the hole in your egg anyway. See, it's looking really nice. Next thing you have to do is take brown petal dust. I've split mine. I put dry on one side and wet on the other side. By wet, I mean petal dust that I added a little bit of vodka into. Now, if I wanted an area a little bit more intense, more intensely dark, I'll just take the wet and just dab it there a bit. Then I'll just go over with my brush and just keep smudging. Smudge till I have a weathered look, till I've been able to smudge off any harsh lines in places where I don't want harsh lines to be. So with these, I'm basically going to make my black pepper I sprinkled on top of the egg. I'm going to make my red pepper and I'm going to make my green pepper. So I'm just pinching tiny bits of the black fondant, and that is what I'm going to do to get my black peppers. And for the red and green fondant, I'm just going to roll them out real flat, and then I'm just going to take my cutter and just cut random slices, some with my cutter, some I'm just going to use my hand to just tear pieces off. You just want it to be somewhat random, but not too random, or should I say a combination of both? Yeah, because you used your knife to chop the peppers. But all the same, you get the idea. So now I'm just going to take water and I'm just going to apply that gradually, one after the other in random positions, green, red, and then once I'm done with that, I'm just going to set it aside and go back to continue the fried plantain. Yum, 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 yum. Want some plantain? Oh my god, I'm having so much fun right now. Looking good, looking good. So now I'm just rolling out my yellow fondant, the same yellow fondant I used to cover the egg yolk. I'm just rolling it out and I'll be covering my plantains 2 by 2. Why? Did you ask why? Well, because I can, and also because it's faster this way. But if you can't, and if you really want to take your time, please, I encourage you to go easy. You can do them one after the other. But it's really not that hard, Just watch and you'll get the basic idea. And like I said before, you can use this idea for a bigger cake if you wanted to do a giant sized dodo, for instance, or a giant sized egg, fried egg. You can apply the same technique, the same principles, just scale up. That's all. So I'm just smoothing the edges of the plantain right now with my fingers, just gradually, patiently smoothing it out, and to define the curves, to define where the angles and the curves of the plantain are. Just smoothing that out. Then I'm going to take my Dresden tool again and I'm going to finish it off with proper indents so it looks as close as possible to an actual cut raw plantain. Just take your Dresden tool and you want to just bend it a little bit, deep to form the hole, and just bend a little bit. Now you can see I'm doing both sides, top and top. Oh my god, that doesn't make any sense. I'm doing both sides because both sides happen to be sliced. Here is just like one side, one surface. So yeah, so basically you just take your Dresden tool and keep going at it till you've defined all the shapes. You've defined the shape of your plantain and it's looking good. Okay, I'm just going to do a few more to take you through the process again and to take you through the process with a different shape, with a different cut out shape, because when you slice plantains, all these shapes don't come out looking the same. So this is like, I don't know, is it the top or the bottom? I don't know, Joe. But it's part of the slices. So I'm just going to cover these two again. I'm going to do the same thing. these shapes are a bit different, I decided to show you with this shape again, so you'll be able to, manage the different shapes that come out of your slices. But it's basically a repeat of the previous process. Cut out, smoothing, then indent with your Dresden tool. Use your fingers to define the curves and the edges. If you notice with the other one, I didn't really go so far into the indent for the top side because it's not like a full cut. Okay, now it's time to actually give it that fried look. So I'm just taking the wet petal dust, and by wet I mean petal dust I've mixed with vodka, and I'm just going to go around the edges to give it that burn brown look. And I'm basically going back and forth, wet and dry, for where I want wet and for where I want dry. And I'm also switching my brushes. I'm using the flatter top brush when I want to smudge, and I use the other narrower brush when I want to just more or less draw brown lines. So if you notice, where I draw brown lines are around the edges, because those are kind of like the places that burn first when you're frying your dodo. Then I'm just going to go in with like a toothpick, and I'm just giving it more indent to give it a more realistic look. If you look at plantain very well, fried plantain, you see some funny small tiny lines. They are actually kind of wavy, but I just went with straight. Well, some are straight, some are wavy. But it actually makes it more realistic though. Then I went ahead and just smudged. After using my toothpick to apply those lines, I just went ahead and smudged the whole thing to give it a much more weathered look. I'm using my toothpick to apply more dots. You really want to get in there and you really want to smudge that brown petal dust everywhere. Smudge it real good. Smudge it to finish up your fried plantain look. Well, not to finish it up, but to give it a more realistic appearance. I'm just going to make one more hole, one more indent there, and smudge brown petal dust because I wanted one more. I prefer the look with one more. And then I went to the body with my toothpick to give it those tiny little dash lines. Then smudge, 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 smudge. Oh, so pretty. Doing another one. Basically the same process. You just have to focus on your smudging. I'm sure by now you know I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to hand paint a cake. If I get it right, yay, great. If I don't, I'll try again. But to me, hand painting is always an adventure. It's always fun. I don't think I've ever tried to hand paint any cake that I haven't had fun doing. Now it's time to serve. Serve your guests. Doodle and egg. Yum, yum, yum. Flakes, flakes like a chef on Food Network. Then steam, baby, steam, 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 steam your cake, steam, steam, steam. I steamed this cake real good because, of course, you already know why. Then just add your black pepper. Your black pepper. Then keep steaming. Steam, 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 steam. The initial steam was to give your black pepper something to hold on to. And then, of course, you know when I say black pepper, you know I mean the tiny bits of black fondant we separated earlier. Oh, breakfast is served. I think I'll have a bite. Yum, yum. Ah, look at that yolk. Yum. Time for a slice of dodo. Yum, 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 yum. I hope you had fun watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Sign up for more videos like this. Subscribe so you can see all my videos, every insane little thing I post. Subscribe so you can receive them first before anyone else. See you next week. Bye.